Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Neil the Zob back at you. Anyways, I just wanted to answer a few questions because, after following that last video, I really wanted to get into it. And plus, I wanted to send my shots out to 23 and 1. This dude really did me a solid. You know what I mean? I'm a small YouTube channel, and this channel is vast. And you know what I mean? For the most part, he got a lot of subscribers. And just for the simple fact that he got at me and told me he was going to give me a shout out, and he actually did it, that's truly a man of his word. I will be dropping his link to his last video in the description. So without further ado, let me just get into some of the things that I wanted to talk about regarding that last video, since there was a few cats that felt like, some type of way about it, but whatever. But before I even get into that, I'm gonna send my shots out like I always do. Y'all obvious. But anyway, shots out to Gwyneth County, everybody, to the homies from Cudahy, to all the homies from Masusa, to the homies from La Puente, to the homies from Hollywood, the homies from Carson, all the way out from Portland, Pomona Ghetto Familia, the homies from Crazy Locals in Florida, Brad's, Grove, Waptown, Valle Imperial, and the homies from Miraloma, ya sabes. But let's just get into it. Well, anyways, again, as far as like, there's some cats, that talk about clout chasing. I didn't clout chase on this dude. The only thing that I was frustrated is the fact that this dude always does leading questions, you know what I mean? And he puts people in certain situations that has a possibility of getting them caught up. Now, as far as like me having anything against the people that he interviewed, I don't know them, you know what I mean? To me, like, you bump music, you hear them, and it's like, whatever. Two different organs, two different constitutions. I wasn't really triggered off what they said. I was more triggered off the fact that he got them to say certain things, which is crazy. And there's somebody that came on here and they said something about certain vatos being G's, and that's true. You know what I mean? Certain vatos have been around, but that don't mean you can't make mistakes. You gotta constantly be on your guard to make sure you don't slip and say the wrong thing, especially something on that scale. Now, you had other vatos in the comment that said something like, oh, nobody would do nothing. You don't know that. All it takes is for one motherfucker to hit the street with that mentality, catch somebody slipping, and gun him down. Now, a whole nother war starts in Los Angeles, but, that goes with the territory. But, for the most part, like I said, I'm always out the way. So, I try not to be out on the street starting fellow that I really not trying to get out there and get, you know what I mean? Now, as far as like knuckles and all that, I'm still with that, you know what I mean? That's just always going to be a part of my stilo. So, that goes without saying. But the reason I got on Vlad's head is because he continued to do it, and without any consequences, and really not tripping off the ramification, because he does work with the Hudas. He may not be on their payroll, but the Vato said what he said, and a lot of cats know it. You got cats, and I can't put their name out there, but dudes from Santana Block, a dude from Park Village that, they got at me in my DM and was like, yeah, you know what, that whole interview was, it wasn't cool. You know what I mean? But, everybody got to do what they do. In the valley where I'm from, we've had the wars all, on and off, and people have got killed. I had a primo that got smoked, you know what I mean, when it came to wars between the homies and them, you know what I mean? So to see that again is something that, real motherfuckers ain't really trying to see, you know what I mean? So when people go out of their way and say things because they feel pressure to say things, that it causes issues. But I can't even say Vlad is the only one. There's a new cat. I don't even think they're new. I think they have some like 15,000 subscribers called what is it? Report Card Radio. You know what I mean? They got one of their, I ain't gonna say which interview that they did, but they got dudes to straight talk about, what certain things mean, and it was about putting in work. But which surprised me, because the dude, I didn't think he would, like, because he's older than all of us. I didn't think that he would put it out there, but he did, and he went into great detail about it, which was kind of like, damn, I just seen a video on this dude, and he wasn't tripping like that. He was like on some G shit. But with that's what I'm saying. You can be a gangster, you can be, really with the business. We all about that business when it comes to it, but you got to be careful in what you say. It's like, you got bots on here that want me to go out of my way to diss Fresno and this and this, that. And for what? Right now is not the right time to be inciting anything. So I refrain from that. And because of that, some about to fall off my channel because they want me to be a 40-year-old fool still on here banging on all enemigas. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, it's not like I'm beyond it. You know what I mean? It's like we're all human, and I still got that thug in me. It's there all the time, and people constantly tell me, you need to hold up. You know what I mean? But it's like what people have been to why I would say like a pressure case, but not like on some, lame shit. Just, sometimes you feel like you gotta push that issue because you felt disrespected. You know what I mean? When other, I'm the type that like to take shit to the extreme when I don't have to. It's just a part of my makeup. And little by little, I try to conform myself and transform myself into something more presentable. You know, because I'm amongst society. I'm not in the cage wilding out. And even then, like even in the cage, like I tell you, like, when I first started getting busted in the county jail and all that, I won't lie, I started a lot of shit. You know what I mean? I started a lot of shit because I hated that motherfuckers would look at me wrong, and I would go out on my way to get these artists to do something so we can get it cracking, and all that did was create a lot of drama. You know what I mean? I've been in situations to where, I'm basically by myself in a pod getting rushed, you know what I mean? Because the homies are busy fighting over there, and I just get caught up in the black hole. That's when you get snatched in the middle. But anyways, so I get caught up in the black hole, and the only ones really right there that didn't even have nothing to do with it jumped up, and that was a paisas. I remember two of Chilangos. One was from Guanajuato or whatever. Another one was from Nayarit, from San Vicente. Another one from Fifth and Hill. You know what I mean? But situations like that, it's like after a while of getting glitch, I learned not to be a shit starter, and this is what Vlad does, and that's why I addressed it. It wasn't trying to get no clout off this duty. Excuse me, that China, but it wasn't trying to get no clout off this dude. I don't care about this dude. This dude ain't a nobody. He got his channel, but it's not like he's no reputable dude that I gotta respect. So for the people that come on here and like, oh, you need to respect this dude, I don't need to respect him at all. I follow conduct of my homeboys and G's that are G's. You got Crips and you got Bloods that are G's that can really partake in that knowledge. I fuck with them. I talk to them. I understand them. Some fool that's a internet sensation, I don't care about that dude. So for the people that got in my comment about that, look, just be positive, dude. All I'm doing is basically speaking my mind on where shit can go and why it shouldn't go there. People that seen it from Compton know that shit, it's bad. You know what I mean? On both sides, people die. You know what I mean? People lose family, and there ain't no getting that back. And that only perpetuates and continue that ongoing violence. It's already enough racial divide amongst Los Angeles and Nevada, everything. Like I said, we had our wars out here. They ain't as big as LA has got. Everybody knew this shit in Compton was like, whoo, and that's how it goes in Los Angeles. The areas are so close in streets that's, when it goes off, it's all out war, you know what I mean? And people die, everybody's about that business when it's wartime. So that's why I don't take nothing from nobody. I take nothing from Nutty Block. I take nothing from the Grandies. I know they're old. Grandy's been old. I've been down with a few of them that were OGs. And so I already know what's up with Compton. You ain't got to tell me nothing about Compton. I know, you know what I'm saying? I know about South Central. I know about Watts. I know about a lot of areas in LA. Like I said, I respect G's from every race, you know what I mean? And that's the gaps that I always try to bridge, you know what I mean? So with that being said, I'm just going to get off that, but for the people that want me to just go negative and, pretty much talk about, and amigas, for one thing, it's like we ain't in the pen no more, so it don't really matter. When we're in the pen and it's getting cracking, then we got to do what we got to do. But as far as on the street, banging on so much that's too far away for me to even do anything. And for the simple fact, like I said, I'm 40 and not trying to get stuck in that trap all over again. If I had to go to jail, that's a different story. It happens. Maybe you get caught up behind your business and, whatever. But as far as like trying to purposely put myself back in that position, I can't win from there. Right now, I'm creating a lane. There's a lot of people getting at me. A lot of people want to do interviews. There's a lot of solid camaradas that really want to fuck with me. There's like a lot of solid Crips and Bloods that want to fuck with me. Because they see the gap that needs to be bridged. It's never going to be perfect. But, we can all sit down in a spot to where money can be gained. And it ain't got to be through the negative way. But you got music. You got, you got entrepreneur things. You got all types of... things that projects that you can create in the neighborhood. Look, the ones in Lomita Village. They got I don't know if they're Bloods or Chris right there that are really putting it in because they're tired of people getting shot up and kids can't go outside. So, they're really doing their thing with these community events, and that everybody should take part in things like that. You know what I mean? At some age, like when you're young, you're still wild, and I can understand that. So I can't really say nothing bad to you about this. But when you're like my age, and you're older, and it's like you want to be able to sit down. There's a lot of people that, I want to be able to sit down with, and at this present time, I can't because there's too much diva. You know, Spencer, ooh, too much divide. Ya sabes, you know what I mean? And I'm a firm believer when you bridge these gaps, Spencer, you can go other places, dog. You can sit down with authors across the table and really talk about money and ways to progress instead of reverting back to the old self. You know what I mean? Which is easy. Everybody that really was with that gangbang can always go back to that mentality. It's easy to flip that script. You know what I mean? That's why I push like I push. I'm not tripping off nobody. You know what I mean? I don't trip off nobody. I'm not worried about what nobody will do because in all retrospect, I'm really about that life when it comes to them knuckles. But I just ain't out there like that. You know what I mean? It's just that's how you get killed. You know, you beat somebody up and you get killed, and then you're done. There ain't no comeback from death. And that's why I commented on the video. It wasn't nothing about Vlad, period. I don't care about the dude. He ain't my homeboy. He ain't no street dude. He ain't from, you know, he's somebody that just trying to get his money and he don't care what kind of mess he kicks up. And I understand that. So, you know, for the people that have gotten my comment about that, like, I get that. Okay. So we'll move past that. Now, as far as like my hat, you know, there's a lot of people that want to know about this. You know, it's 113%. You know, you can just pretty much take it how you want it. Now, as far as like the uncut, you know, I'll get into that just a little bit, maybe make a video on it. But as far as like the uncut, it ain't like the Bloods. The Bloods say no cut. We know what no cut is for them. I can't say that because, you know, as far as like cuts, you know, every homie is cut some way. You know what I'm saying? But we can say uncut. And, you know, for the homies, we know, you know what I mean? For the ones that I've talked to know what uncut is, and it's just like that. You know what I mean? So I don't need to really put it out there. Maybe in another video, I'll try to phrase it a certain way to where it's not so delving deep into whatever. But for the most part, 113 uncut. You know what I'm saying? And it's just what it is. 113% palabra, 113% double, whatever. You know what I mean? Lots of that live down south, lots of homies, you know, people that, you know, it's like 100, you know what I mean? But motherfuckers say 113, you know, you want to get them burpees, 113, break off, you know, whatever, you know. But for the homies, you already know what's up. You know, I know some authors get on here and they're like, oh, it should just be, you know, that's it. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like you just gotta really, you know, for the authors that have been busted, you already know what it, you know, especially the one. I mean, you could be busted but never been to the hole. We're about to really getting that 113 in. You know what I mean? It just depends on who you are, so it's gonna mean different things. But as far as like this, I'm just saying it because I know authors want to get the hats, but they don't really want to be connected to anything gang. You know, you had some dude jump on here and talk about hoodlum. I was dressing like a hoodlum and, you know, a hooligan, which I didn't know you knew I had a subscription to Captain Oi. But see, now that's a hooligan, you know what I mean? But whatever, that's on a different story. But yeah, hopefully, I just wanted to get on here just to address just that, you know what I mean? Just to let people know I'm not clout chasing. I'm not trying to kick up no dust. I'm not trying to propel anything to the spotlight. I still got my platform no matter what. So going at that dude and anybody else really doesn't do me no good. But I'll tell you this. If I was really trying to be one of those, to really just go at everything, I would have been on Dwight Howard. I would have been on this Messy Marv business. I would have been on, you know, what's dude's name? Young Buck. I would have been this when they said T.I. snitch. I would have been on all that. I would have been one of them dudes like, oh, this dude's a, you know, this, and really just been out there. But that ain't our stilo. We don't get down like that. Can't get down like that. We may be able to say certain stories, but as far as like pointing finger at authors that we ain't got no paperwork on, and for the simple fact, I'm just gonna be honest, no gang thing. But if it ain't double S business, I don't really care. You know what I mean? If it ain't about family, I don't really care. If it ain't nothing about prospering, you want to, oh, I got a video after this because people keep asking about the street gang thing. I'm going to tell you why I didn't, whatever, you know what I mean? And it's just the way it is, you know, and hopefully we'll get over that. But for the most part, I'll address that in another video. But right now, I'm just going to end this. And I'm going to tell you, you know what I mean? If you're trying to get the hat, just get at me, you know what I mean? I'm just waiting to try to accumulate some orders to be able to pump it out, you know, support the cause, you know what I mean? And, you know, write a letter to one of your homeboys in prison. Y'all saw this. But, yeah, and to the people that came to the channel, thank you. And once again, 23-1, I'm dropping the link. Thank you for looking out for my channel. And hopefully in the future, we'll be able to collab. And, you know, hopefully I'll be able to speak on this dude more, you know what I mean? And because he seems cool as hell, you know. And on that note, for everybody that came to the channel, gracias, and I'm out. Late.